My guest this morning is none other than Anthony L. Elder. MM is an author, speaker, and life coach who lived being obese and survived to tell about it. He has finally released his overweight condition and gained control of his life. When Mr. Elder is speaking, his voice is worth listening to. He's compelling, sincere, dynamic, exciting, enlightening, passionate, powerful, entertaining, and serious while discussing his own obesity and life so others can relate. He is very truthful while delivering thought-provoking concepts about how to take care of your body and life. Sadly, in the next 18 minutes, 4 Americans that are alive will be dead from the food that they eat. He is driven and committed to helping people across the county, or country, shall I say, defeat the obesity monster. Once we have cleared away our fears, doubts, and food addictions, the obesity monster can be locked up and we can be set free. Mr. Elder tells his Too Damn Fat Soldiers. Anthony's guide on how to release weight is a great read. His knowledge and experience on what it takes to get to the new you is a must for anyone who wants to regain their confidence and release weight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Reading Circle microphone, none other than Anthony L. Elder. Anthony Elder, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Medley. Thank you for having me on your platform. I'm glad that you chose to have me to spread this message around about this obesity is killing our people. And I'd just like to say, in the beginning, was listening to, while you had me on hold, I was listening to that gospel music, and it just got my spirit going. Whoa, my spirit started jumping. And you know, in Mark chapter 2, verse 17, on God hearing this, Jesus said to them, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but the sinner." In my position, I'm here to help the people that are obese. And God gave me this platform, this message, because he helped me, because our people need it. We are dying from obesity. In the next 18 minutes, 4 people will be dead from the complications of being fat. And we have to do something about it.
I know that's right.
And you got me going this morning. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Well, I'm happy, and I feel your energy, and I'm glad you're enjoying it, because as a matter of fact, whenever I'm not interviewing, because there's a couple of segments to the show. There's the interview segment like we're doing right now, and then there's the gospel music segment. So generally from 6 to 7, I'm playing the gospel music, and then when the interview ends, we go back to the gospel music. So I'm glad to hear that it inspired you and pumped you up even further, because I could tell when I picked up the telephone, you were already pumped up, but the music took you to another level. So our message this morning is extremely important. And what I was referencing a couple of seconds ago, and I actually picked the book back up so I can read it exactly, because I kicked the show off reading with 2 books. One of them is called Until Today by Ian Levan-Zant, and the other one is Something About Being Grateful and Thankful by Joyce Meyer. I have to get the exact title down. But for today's reading, February 16th, out of Iana's book, it says, "I will know love when I realize truth is a powerful and meaningful expression of love." And the reason I'm bringing this back up, because I read it in the 6 o'clock hour, is because what we're going to be talking about this morning is going to be a hard truth for some people.
Absolutely. They don't want to hear the truth.
Right.
The truth, in the word, it said the truth shall set you free. But you accepting good criticism can improve you. It can convict you and make you see where you're going wrong at. And I'm going to talk to that again about being obese. We know that obesity is a medical elective condition because you choose to be fat. You're not born 400 pounds. You're not born 300 pounds. So you choose to be obese, and you can do something about it. But you got to know the right way to do it. You have to change your lifestyle, and you stop listening to these traditional people about how to, I'm going to put it in their words, lose weight. When you lose something, you're always looking for it. But when you release something, it's gone forever. You don't want it back anymore. And that's what my program does. My program shows you, it teaches you, and encourages you how to release weight. Now, I'm so excited about this because I'm on my 2-year journey now. I'll be going to my 3rd year. But most programs, when you lose, I'll use their words again, lose weight, they last 30, 60 days. If you get to a year, you've done great. But after that year, only 20% of those people are still losing weight. In my case, my program, people are releasing weight for a lifetime. And like I said, I'm going on my 3rd year. So releasing obesity is the difference. You have to change your mindset. And I want your people to get that, because weight is killing us.
It is. And you know what? I'm so glad you're distinguishing the difference between lose and release, because all the time on this show, and listening audience can attest to it, I'm constantly encouraging them to choose their words wisely. So the fact that you're making a difference between the words releasing versus losing, that's a big deal. Now, listening audience, the title of the book is Too Damn Fat. It's the number 2, the word damn, D-A-M-N, fat, a motivational guide on releasing obesity, changing your lifestyle. Don't lose weight, release it. And the author is Anthony L. Elder, of whom we're speaking with right now. And this is a very important topic, especially, and I'm not saying it's not important for Caucasians, because Caucasians can be obese too, but in the African-American population, especially since this is Black History Month, is an extremely important topic, because a lot of things in our diet, as Anthony just said, cause us to be obese, and we can choose not to have them in there. Talk some about that, Anthony.
Yeah, we choose. Listen, it costs a lot of money to eat good. I'm not going to tell you no story about that. You ever go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, you got to take out a loan to go in there to buy food. I know that. But your body is a temple, and you have to take care of your body correctly. Now, our diet consists of, when we was growing up, I'm not going to tell you any story. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was basically pig.
That's right.
Pig. Now, I'm not saying if we all go into the story of what pigs eat. Pigs eat anything. They're carnivores. They eat anything. Now, we go again into that. If we're having a diet like that and we constantly eating pig, we start to look like sometimes like a pig. And I know you've seen it for yourself. Be honest now. Be honest. Be honest. You have seen some people you look at, you might say, oh, well, they might remind me of they look like a pig. Some people even look bigger than that sometimes. But we can change that. But how we change it? We got to change it nice and slow, because you didn't get fat overnight.
That's right.
Time. So we have to change it slowly. Most of these traditional programs, they want to change it quickly, because you're paying them all this money and they want to see a quick result, so that you'll keep coming and giving them your money. But once you're off that program, what happens? You either gain the weight back or you double the weight that you had lost. So in my program, I try to take it nice and slow. You got to first begin and do this by steps. And then that will work, and then you begin to change your lifestyle, changing your mindset. Like you said, changing your language. I'm working with a guy right now who's 305. He's down to 197 pounds.
And see, again, I mean, right, it is, and it is about a mindset. And it's like, I mean, because, again, folks, go to his website and you'll see that Anthony's not telling you. The beauty of this is Anthony's not telling you what he thinks. He's telling you what he knows. Now, I just had this conversation with a young man yesterday, and it's something that my pastor always says. Experience is the best teacher, but it doesn't have to be your experience. In other words, we should be able to learn from the experience of others. And if you go to Anthony's website and you see his photos, you'll see what I'm talking about. What I say, the beauty of it is, a lot of times, Anthony, when we see weight release or weight loss commercials, we see these beautifully shaped people, and I guess the intention of the ad is to make people believe at some point they look differently. But if we go to your website, we can see your true before and after. That's not a made up, it's not a doctored photo, it's not an actor. It's Anthony before and Anthony after. And as he said, in terms of if you want to release it, there's some work you're going to have to do. So Anthony, let's go back. What caused you to change your lifestyle? What caused you to change your mindset?
I had what I call in my book, I had a aha moment. Now, when you just mentioned earlier about I have empathy for the people out there in your audience because I was fat. 30 years of morbidly obesity, not just obese, but morbidly obesity. 30 years of that. And I had an aha moment when I went to my doctor back in 2017. My sugar was 390.
Woo.
My blood pressure was 190 over 120. And he told me that he wasn't going to give me any more pills. He said, I can't do it no more. I've been telling you for years that you had to do something about it, and you haven't done anything, and this is the results. He said, you will be dead in the next 5 years, but during this time, you're going to have a miserable existence. What that meant is all the complications of being obese will come to the head.
That's right.
High blood pressure, your diabetes, your sleep apnea, COPD. I can name. I had what I had a royal flush. So
that's right. I know what you're talking about because I have family members that have struggled with the same issues that you're talking about. On my father's side, particularly with the females, many of them struggle with obesity.
But they can change it if they learn the proper ways to do it. Now, I tried. I don't want to mention their name, but I tried the programs. It begins with a W. I tried the young girl. I don't want to mention their names, but they don't work because they're only temporary solutions to a lifelong problem. My program wants to change your lifetime. I want your mind to change so we can get you back to the place where you want to be so you can be healthy, so you can walk up a flight of stairs.
Right.
You can hang out with your kids. You can do the things that you're supposed to do. I know how it is to be fat. I know how it is not to tie your shoes. I know how it is to pull yourself out of a car. I know how it is to rip a pair of pants when you're at a function and you're so embarrassed.
And see, again, as we were talking earlier about this whole notion of truth, for many people, just hearing the word fat, they get offended. And understandably so to a degree. But at the same time, if you get that offended and you don't want to be considered that label, then what are you going to do about it? Now, you said something a couple of minutes ago that was crucial. And people, you need to hear this in terms of with your medical doctors and your diagnosis and stuff. There's one thing to change because you want to change. And then there's another thing to change when you have to change in terms of you change or die. And that's pretty much what Anthony was just saying. And my doctor told me the same thing, Anthony. And I'm not heavy. I've never been heavy. But at the same time, diabetes runs in my family again on my mother's side. So I was pre-diagnosed a few years ago. My sugar was nowhere near those numbers you just talked about. But the doctor said, you're pre-diabetic and I can keep you off medication if you change your diet and exercise. Now, I was always pretty athletic, exercise to a degree, but not where I am now. And in terms of changing diet, I had to do a radical shift in that. I mean, for the most part, cut out all sweets. And people always say, wow, you're so disciplined. I don't know how you do that. I said, well, it's easy to do it when you're given the ultimatum, change or die. And that's what I was kind of hearing from you, that your doctor was telling you, look, change or die.
Absolutely. Listen, can I call you Mark?
Yes, you can. I meant to tell you that earlier. By all means, please call me Mark.
Mark, we're having a conversation. And in this conversation, I'm always going to be truthful. But people don't like the word fat, but call it like it is. You're fat. We've been being so nice to people nowadays that they don't want to hear anything.
Right.
They don't want to hear the truth. We want to give them the nice, easy picture because our society is not politically correct. Well, I can be politically correct and see you in a box,
right,
in a coffin. We're making funeral directors rich because we don't want to call it like it is. But we rather make the funeral directors rich, in the hospitals rich,
right,
to make the weight programs rich, but we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings so they can be around and we can enjoy them. You heard what I said? So we can enjoy them.
Absolutely.
Instead of being miserable, because let me tell you another thing. When you are living with a person who is obese and they're going through the medical complications, you become a caretaker.
That's correct.
Now, when you become a caretaker, your life is truly affected now. So now you're seeing a person that got their toes amputated, seeing a person that got breathed with a mask at nighttime. These things happen because this is the truth, what obesity does. Like I said at the top of the hour, you do not die from obesity. You die from the complications of obesity.
And see, that's interesting because you're bringing up right now ripple effects. You're bringing up things that people probably don't think about. And you're bringing up, and I'm glad for that, because listening audience, I need you to think about this stuff that Anthony's saying, because this is the real deal. Like I said, I was faced with it with my pre-diagnosis, and thankfully, thank God, mine hasn't rolled over into diabetes. For my sister, that has not been the case. Hers went full blown. And with these ripple effects that Anthony's talking about, I'm experiencing with my sister now. I mean, she's constantly complaining about swelling and the side effects of the medication and so forth. So Anthony, he is not exaggerating. And we need to give some thought to the ripple effects of our actions, how they impact not just us, but everyone else.
Mark, 84 million people in this country are pre-diabetic. There's 84 million people waiting to be a diabetic.
Right.
There's 110 million people that are type 2 diabetic. So add the numbers. You're looking at almost 200 million people that have the possibilities of getting diabetes or have diabetes, that have the complications of feeding, listen to me, feeding this medical world. The pill's not cheap for
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, they're not.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, because not only are we talking diabetes, because you also mentioned some blood pressure numbers that go, they go hand in hand, and generally with weight, that feeds into that as well. They're all related. So a lot of people look at me and say, "Oh my God, you're so thin. I can't believe you would be getting diabetes." But still, even with that, my weight at the time when I was diagnosed was 179. Once the doctor told me what went on, I dropped 20 pounds within like 2 months. I was diagnosed in February. When I went back to her in May, I had lost 20 pounds. I went from 179 to 159. She looked at me and said, "You must have been eating a hell of a lot of sugar." And I said, "I was." And
you were truthful.
Right.
Lying, because I used to go to the doctor and lie. That's what the obesity monster does to you.
Right. When you say you would go to the doctor and lie.
He's like, did you check your sugar? Yeah, I checked it. Oh, where's the paperwork? I left it at home. See, when you are a food addict, addicts are known for what?
Right.
Lying.
Right.
So when you told me at the top of the hour that people might be offended that you're fat, then we're lying to them. They
right.
lying to us because they said they were doing what they're supposed to do, but they haven't, because we're looking at them and they're getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. So what happens when you finally have a bag that's overstuffed? It busts. It breaks open. The same thing happened when you're obese. You're busting out the seams. That's why they call them stretch marks.
Right.
Why are they stretch marks? Because they're stretching past their limit. So either you want to listen to the truth and accept it, or don't do anything about it and die before your time. Now, we all know we're born to die.
Right.
We all know that. That's part of life. But why not get the most out of it? Why cut your life short? Now, when I told you about the effects of other people being obese and it affects your life, it happened to me about 4.5 years ago. One of my best friends died, 48 years old. So I had to take in his son, 18 years old. You don't think that changed my life?
Right.
Don't you think I had to talk to and nurture this guy back? He was upset that his father passed away at 18. I mean, he was 18.
Right.
So I said, okay, let's make sure, let's get him through school. This is his last year of college. I'll be so happy. But that affected my life. So our obesity affects other people, and we got to get out of that. When I tell people we're being selfish, we're being selfish. Now let's change that. Let's change our mindset so we can start learning and teaching ourselves how to release this obesity. And you got to release it nice and easy, because we do not want it to come back. We want to release, not lose, because when you lose something, you're always looking for it. I want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I know people heard the stories before. My nieces called me the #1 fat guy. How you think that felt?
Well, see, that's what I was saying earlier. Whenever people hear the word fat right off the bat, they feel bad or either are offended. But talk to me a little bit about, because I definitely want to get into some of the suggestions you have, because folks, I need you to get the book, but he's going to whet your appetite with some of the suggestions in terms of how to do it. But talk to me a little bit about the difference between I need to lose weight for my health and to stay alive versus I want to lose weight because some magazine cover tells me that's what society sees as beautiful.
You will never win that one, because society is always changing.
Correct.
See, how can you win that? Society is always changing. What was acceptable in the 80s ain't acceptable anymore. We're in the 2000s, and there's a whole lot of different things acceptable. Now they're saying, I'm controversial on this. They said big is beautiful.
Right.
I said that's a lie. Big is not beautiful. That person might be beautiful inside in their spirit and everything, but the outer package is big. How can that be beautiful when this person is having a hard time breathing?
Right.
This is beautiful when the person got to buy a sheet to wear clothes. I used to wear size 5X. Clothes are big. How can I look beautiful in that? Be honest. I didn't look beautiful. I looked sloppy. I look horrible.
And see, I think if more people would, and that's not, and we're not saying, listening audience, please, those of you listening, we're not trying to give the impression that this is easy, because it's not. We're asking you to realize and then face the issue and then work to fix it. But as Anthony said earlier, a lot of us are not willing to face the truth. So we just go on and we make excuses and make little pretty sayings like he just said, big is beautiful, this, that, and the other. And we just keep on chugging along. And as he said, in the meantime, our bodies are dying because of it.
Dying because of. Now, don't get me wrong. Listen, I know my message might be hard, but I'm so concerned with saving people's lives.
Right.
Lives. Do you hear me? I'm trying to save their life, because my life was saved. I'm in the best shape of my life in the last 35 years. I can walk upstairs. I can do things I never did before. I was miserable. I am happy that I got rid of the obesity monster, and I want them to experience the same thing. So please reach out to me. Reach out to me on my webpage, toodamnfat.com. Reach out to me on Gmail, toodamnfat@gmail.com, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on all platforms. And let me say this to you, your listening audience. I know what you're going through. I went to the trainers. I went to the gym. I had 2 gym memberships at the same time, paying that bill, and maybe went 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
I know it's difficult to start, but I will help you get started. That's the difference. A lot of times when you're working with people, you ever work with a trainer, a physical trainer, and ask the question of this: have you ever been fat? If he told you no, you better get you another trainer.
Right.
Get one that has released the weight and now is working with obesity people, so he knows how to make you get to the point you need to be, because he's been there.
Right.
It's nothing like being there and seeing the change, because now you know what the difficulties are. Myself, I understand what you're going through. That's why I wrote a motivational guide to releasing obesity. I'm not a medical doctor, but I am a person that has been fat, and I've done a lot of research, and my 2 Damn Fat soldiers are doing great jobs. I work with people all across the country, and they are doing things they have never done before, because they got out of the mindset that they were losing weight just for a little while. Now they are releasing weight for a life-changing episode.
And I know this to be true only because we've witnessed that on a worldwide stage and certainly a national stage. Even with folks such as Oprah Winfrey and Luther Vandross when he was alive, we would see them go through their programs when they would lose and they would put it back on and it come back up. So what you're talking about, I know to be true in terms of just watching, if not anyone else, just those two. And the other thing is weight always amazes me. Only because, like I said, I've been naturally thin for the most part since birth. My sister was always heavier than me until she got sick, and now the weight came off because of the illness. But I'm looking at your pictures on your website, the one on the top and the one on the bottom. It is amazing the difference of how weight makes you look when it's on and when it's off. You literally look like two different people.
Absolutely. You know what people say when they see me? They said, you're the only person I know, and they use the word lose because they haven't joined my program yet, have maintained it for over 2 years. How you do it? What you eat? How you do this? They ask all the questions. I said, first of all, I changed my mindset.
Right.
I did a reset in my life. I no longer made food my number one priority. When you are fat and obese, your number one priority is eating. What time you're going to eat, how much, what you're going to eat, and when you're going to eat again.
So what about in terms of, did you have to change what type of foods you did eat when you ate?
I changed. Of course, I had to change that. I was never one for eating the swine, so I took that out. I took out other meat products, but I also, like I tell people, it's not what you eat, it's how much you eat. You can't sit down and have a whole bag of potato chips and think you're gonna lose weight.
Right.
You're gonna have a couple, have 2 or 3. You know, and you know what's so funny about this, Mark? On the boxes and on the labels, they tell you what a serving is.
That's correct.
They say if you eat 5 chips, that's 200 calories. Eat 5 chips. If you have
Right.
8 ounces of orange juice, it's this amount of calories. But we don't do the 8 ounces. We do what? A big cup. That's why these places sell these things, supersize it.
Right.
When they start supersizing things, you saw people start getting supersized.
That's right. That's a good point. You're right.
You don't need to drink 32 ounces of CC soda. I don't want to say the name. I don't want to get sued.
Right.
I don't have to say any more than that. But you don't need that. What's wrong with 8 ounces?
And you're so right, because I've had one of the authors I've had on the show years ago. She's the author of the book called Our Daily Meds. And there's another book called Sugar, Salt, Fat, something like that. Fat, sugar, salt, I forget the order. But in both of those books, they're very clear on the industries that you think that are here to keep us alive are the industries that are killing us. So the food industry in and of itself could care less about whether the product is keeping us alive. The same thing in the pharmaceutical industry. You would think going to doctors and the pharmacists and all that is really about keeping us alive, when the truth of the matter is it's about profit. So if we don't start making some of these choices like you're talking about, the food companies and the pharmaceutical companies could care less. Because like you just said, we're making hospitals rich. We're making the undertakers rich.
We're making, listen, Mark, I want to interrupt you for a second. I just had my assistant said that I would have another 10 to 15 minutes with you.
Okay, great.
So, to go on and completely, because this message is so real and the people need to hear it. I want to say this to you. Why are we paying to kill ourselves? Think about that for a second. What I mean by that is,
good question.
Why do you need to supersize something? How could going to the Golden Arches and getting your food in 2 minutes be healthy when you drive up? How can that food be healthy? Think about it for a second. You pull up to a microphone, you order what you want, you get there in 2 minutes, and they got the food for you. That's healthy?
That's a very good question. And that's exactly what I was just talking about in terms of the industries you think that are here to preserve, right? Really could care less about life. They care about the profit. So when you start talking supersizing, again, and I'm not taking anything from McDonald's owners or what have you, but again, their objective is not necessarily worrying about keeping us alive.
No, their objective is to, like you said, turn a profit. these programs, the obesity, I call it obesity world, or the things that relate to obesity, the industries, and we can name them the gyms, pharmaceuticals, hospitals, the farms, all those are making, ready, billions of money off of people who's obese. Obesity people have to pay more for life insurance and medical insurance. Am I right or wrong?
That's correct.
Obesity people have to buy bigger clothes. They cost more, right or wrong?
Correct.
Obesity people have to buy bigger cars, right or wrong? Right.
Correct.
Now, I've seen some obese people get out of a little car, and it was funny to me. I mean, it was hysterical if you ever seen it. But you know you need to buy a bigger car. Maybe you can't afford one, but you need to buy a bigger car. But I only could sit on metal chairs. I couldn't sit on wooden chairs because they would break. In my book, I talk about my friend. I'm at my friend's house, and his chair breaks, and I fall down, and I end up messing up my rotator cuff. I'm talking about I was fat. I broke a chair. I should have woke up.
But see, again, at least at some point, you got to the point where you recognized that and you dealt with it. And what we're trying to get to or talk about this morning, folks, if you're in this condition that Anthony is describing, hopefully this will wake you up to deal with it. So, again, the program or the book is called, and in a sense, I'm glad you named it because it is like it will force you to wake up. It will force you to, whoa, what did that say? Because matter of fact, whenever I was talking to Anthony this morning, I said, all right, what's your website? What's the site? He said, too damn fat. And I said, whoa, what? I said, is that with the number 2? He says, yep, 2, DAMN, fat. That will get your attention. It does exactly what it's designed to do. And if you're someone who's fat and you feel like you're offended by it, you need to open the book. And you will, like Anthony said, once you start putting these things into practice, you will feel so much better. The exercising, the change in eating habits, you'll forget about the offense. You will feel so much better. Now, Anthony, am I making this up or what?
You're not making it up. I'm glad we're on the same spirit, on the same page. We got the same spirit. But let me tell you something. Why I use the word damn, a lot of people, I've done a lot of radio stations, Christian radio stations, and some of them didn't want me to say the word damn. And I said to them that they didn't understand what the word damn meant.
Correct.
Damn meant in a religious word mean that you were condemned.
Correct.
Oh, let me talk to them for a second now. It means you was condemned. Now, let me tell you, and we're going to the secular word. Damn means frustrated, sick and tired. So you put them both together, what does it mean? Damn means you need to make a change.
That's right.
So be condemned or you're frustrated.
That's right.
With the situation that you're in. And that's why I use the word. So a lot of people say, oh, that's a cuss word. I said, did you see it in the Bible? The people were what? They were damned. So I'm telling you right now, if you don't want to have this situation that you're in, think about this. You can change it simply by making the effort. One of the things I do when I talk to people after having a session with them, I say this. If you're not ready, nothing will work.
That's right.
Are you ready? Are you sick and tired of being fat? I don't say overweight. I don't say a little chubby. I call it like it is. Fat. If you're ready, I can help you get prepared to beat this obesity monster. I have 9 steps that work, and I stay right with those steps. First thing you have to admit is that you have to admit that you have a problem. You have to do that. Admit to yourself and tell yourself the truth. Rest of the things we'll start working on. Once we can get that going, we can start to see a change. I don't want you to lose 20, 30 pounds when you come to my program. No, no, no. First thing I want to teach you is how to not gain another pound. Once we get that under control,
right,
then we can work on what? releasing the obesity. If you can't get under control, not gain another pound, how are you going to maintain when you release the weight?
Right.
How are you going to do it?
That's just right.
Can't do it. You haven't been taught properly. But these programs do that. You can go to these programs and you can lose 8 to 10 pounds in a week. They go, look, you're doing great. You're doing a great job. They're giving you all this food, and once you can't afford the food, what happened?
That's right.
You are again obese.
Right.
I don't want that. I want you to have a new life. Okay, now, I know we got a few minutes left, so I want to go through these steps nice and easy, but I want your people to reach out to me and contact me, of course, at toodamnfat.com or on Gmail, toodamnfat.com.
That's right. And since we've coming to the end, because Anthony did tell me he's going to have to dash. So while you're there, you can go through the steps, and then you can do all the promoting you want in terms of your websites, phone numbers, contact information. The only thing you can't say is the dollar amount. But other than that, as you give the steps, promote as much as you like, and then we'll close out.
Sir, I want to first thank you for having me on your platform.
Well, I thank you for coming. We're going to have to get together again because this is a very important topic. So I know you have to run. I won't hold you, but I'm going to reschedule for another time later on in the year so we can talk about it again, because it's one that needs to be heard. And like I said, I'm glad it fell in February. The listening audience, Anthony and I have been trying to get this together since like October, November. And do tell Yusuf thank you, because Yusuf and I have been going back and forth trying to get the dates together. We finally got it. But I'm glad it worked that it came in February, because it's Black History Month. And
absolutely. I'm glad that it did happen. But, hey, you know what they say? When the time is right, that's when it happens.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
So October wasn't Black History Month.
That's right.
November wasn't Black History Month, but February is Black History Month, and we need to look out for our people that had originated everything in this world.
That's right.
So let's stay right here for a second. I'm only going to mention about half of them because the beginning, you can't eat everything at one time. Okay, so this is what? First step, you have to admit to yourself and tell yourself the truth. That's number one. Number two, you have to have a commitment. And I show you how to get a commitment. You're saying, well, I can't do it. I'm going to show you the steps how to get commitment. Number three, you have to use visual aids. You have to see you. What I mean by that is that you got to put up pictures when you used to be slim or less than you presently weigh. Put them around your house. Put up a pair of pants or a dress that you want to get into again or want to wear. Put them up around your office, wherever you are, so you can look at them and visually see them. And put that picture up of you being fat. A lot of obese people don't like taking selfies. They usually only take it from the head up. They don't take the whole body because they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed. I know they are. I've been through it. Then 4, you got to re-energize yourself. And 5th, you got to control yourself. And I'll teach you how to do the steps, and I'll get you back to where you need to be so you can be an asset to your family. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Again, a good choice of words. Great choice of words in terms of being an asset, not a liability.
Not a liability, because you just said yourself, and I heard it in your voice, you love your sister, but she
Correct.
just gave you more responsibility when you're already taking on enough things.
That's correct. That's absolutely right. And so, not to mention the worry, are you going to be okay? How you feeling? Are you going to be around? Because again, it really is a choice between life and death. And the next time we get together, because we could take this thing all the way back in terms of how we wound up with dietary choices and the pig and all that to begin with. But at some point, if you understand your history, you know your history, you know what it's doing to you, you stop it. Because nobody's putting a gun to your head when you go to the supermarket to buy fatback. Nobody's putting a gun to your head when you go to the supermarket to buy pig ears and pigtails and pork chops and so forth and so on. Nobody's putting a gun to your head to do that. At some point, we can make a conscious decision. I am not going to ingest, digest, and eat that. At some point, we can make conscious decisions as to how much we're going to eat when we get. I laugh whenever you were saying about on the boxes, they do give the portion sizes. Like you said, 5 chips, 2 cookies, whatever. They do give it.
So so it's you the one that's going crazy. You know what? And you just said something to it about the food choices, about the pig ears and everything else. And we're talking about Black History this month. And I usually don't get into this, but I do want to mention this. The reason why our diet consists of that, because that's what we was fed. We was fed.
Correct.
That's what we was fed. I don't want to go any more than that because I want to be politically correct, but that was what's fed. Now, the other side was eating the what? The beef, right?
Right.
Eating the top, right?
Yeah, steaks and yeah, exactly. Filet mignon.
Okay. So then we adapted, right?
Correct.
We made some specialty out of it. We did a lot of things to it because that's what we are. We are people that can adapt in any situation. So let us adapt to this. Let's stop living the lie and change it and go back to the kings and queens that we're supposed to be and the specimens of good health that we're supposed to be. Let's go back.
I know that's right. And see, like I said, next time we talk, we are going to get into that. One thing about this show, I'm not worrying about being politically correct. One thing we try to be is as transparent as possible because the only way folks really get help is with the transparency. And that's why I appreciate the show this morning. And I even posted your before and after pictures on my Facebook page, so folks can see what we're talking about in terms of what I'm saying. So for those who are listening, if you follow me on Facebook, if you go there, or if you go to Anthony's webpage, you can see them there as well. But this is real deal stuff here. This is not fluff. Anthony's not telling you what he thinks. Anthony's telling you what he knows. I know what it's like for the doctor to say change or die. I'm sure Anthony's heard the same thing. And truth be told, we all want to stay alive for as long as we can.
Listen, I want to be as long. I know they have to die. I just don't want to die too early.
Right. That's absolutely right. I mean, we're going to go one day anyway, but there's no need for us to hasten it with some of our decisions.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 125%, and I thank you again, Mr. Medley, Mark, for having me on your platform, and that you're concerned about your radio audience, that they need to hear this message, and I love it that we are here to spread the word. I am here to help people beat obesity. That is my mission in life. My mission, I have two missions in life. One, to help people beat obesity, and two, to introduce them to knowing the Lord for themselves. I
know that's right. And it's funny because I meant to mention it when you were saying about the whole thing about the mindset. The Bible says the renewing of the mind.
Absolutely.
And that's what really this is about. This is not about trying to be, again, compete with what society says is beautiful. Because you have a lot of people, Anthony, that are becoming anorexic. They go just the opposite. Like instead of being the food addict, they don't eat at all or either throw their food back up trying to become so skinny because they're trying to look like what magazine covers look like. And that's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about making changes for your health and for your life because those things that Anthony talked about are serious. Amputation of toes, swelling, loss of limbs, not being able to breathe, not being able to move, not being able to fit in chairs, not being able to buy clothes, all those things are real. That's not fantasy. That's not made up. That's not trying to be mean. It's not trying to be nasty. It's the real deal. So, Anthony, I appreciate you for rising early to join me. I do record the show. It'll be on my YouTube channel. I'll send you a copy of the link. You can do whatever you'd like with it. Send it out to any of your listeners. Put it on your website. Whatever you'd like to do with it. Once I send you the link, it's yours.
You know what? And I want to also make this offer to your listening audience. The first 5 people to email me, I will send them out a digital copy of my book to help them get started on releasing their obesity.
All right. Now, wait a minute. Okay. See, this was it. We definitely could have done an hour and a half on this one easy because people think just because you're really big, that's the definition of obesity when it's not. You could be small and still be considered obese based on your body weight index or your body mass index. If you go to your doctor, they'll tell you BMIs and all that stuff. You could
Absolutely
still,
right.
Right. So you don't necessarily have to be looking like a blimp to consider yourself obese.
Right. You can have a person that's 5'2", they can weigh 205, and their body index could be over 30%. Over 30, you're fat. Over 25, you're the number. There's different numbers, but you're considered obese.
Correct.
You don't have to be 5'10" and be 400 pounds to be
correct.
obese. different sizes to be obese. And like you said, we could get into that's a whole nother subject. But you listen, I always tell people this: 5'2", 4'2", 6'2", 7'2". You know when you fat.
It's true.
You don't got to go to the doctor and put a BI machine, a little clip on, and clip your skin and see how much fat it is. You know you're fat.
Right.
Look in the mirror. The mirror don't lie. The mirror doesn't lie.
I know that's right. So, like I said, man, it is such an important topic, and because I love everybody, but I love my people. And I know, like you said, your stats were right on point. The stats that you have in the Bible the stat in your bio and on your website about, what is it? In the next 18 minutes, 4 Americans that are alive will be dead from the food that they eat. That's true. That's real. He's not making this up, folks. We're trying to give you a sense of urgency. The website is www.toodamnfat.com. Just like it sounds. The number 2, the word damn, the word fat, all together, no spaces, no slashes, no nothing. www.toodamnfat.com. The author is Anthony Elder. Anthony, anything else? Because I know you got to scoot. Because if you can hang out, hang out. But if you got to go, I understand.
Only thing I like to say is that I want your people to reach out to me because I want to help them beat this obesity monster. Too many people that we love are passing away prematurely, and we can save their life by doing one thing. First of all, telling them the truth. Second, help them change their lifestyle. And third, don't lose weight, release it.
All right, man. Like I said, I'm going to get in touch with Yusef or you directly and have you back on. I tell you what, my brother, have a wonderfully blessed day, week, month, year, life.
And thank you to the same.
All right. Take care now.
God bless you.
God bless you as well. All right. Well, I'm going to definitely have Anthony back because, as we've been saying, the topic is too important. And Anthony had to go this morning. He couldn't do the full, because normally when we get into a conversation like that, we run from 7 to 8:30 or 8:15 easy. But he did tell me up front that he had another engagement. So we went as long as we could till he had to leave. But I'm definitely going to be in touch with him because, again, one of the things I tell you all the time about this show is I want it to educate, inspire, entertain, elevate. I wanted to do all those different things. And this is one to educate. Now, it may sound harsh when we say the word fat. It may sound harsh, but the truth of the matter is fat is taking us under. Fat is taking us 6 feet under prematurely, as you heard Anthony say. So go to his site and you can look at the picture. When you go to the About Me section on his website, you see the before and after, and it is amazing. He looks like 2 different people. On the bottom, he actually looks like, I want to say, the Nutty Professor. It's one of those Eddie Murphy movies, Philbert, Egbert, something Bert, whatever it is, whenever he's Norbert, when he's really big. That's what he looks like on the bottom. He looks like Eddie Murphy and Norbert. But if you look on the top, it looks like a totally different person. And it is amazing. It always has fascinated with me the difference of what weight does. I've seen women that have released the weight that are very shapely, and then they'll say, oh, I used to be fat. And you look at them and say, I can't imagine you fat. And then they'll show you a picture. And you're like, wow, that's the same person? Well, that's exactly what you're going to see here when you go to Anthony's website about him. He, like I said, he reminds me of, I think it was Norbert. Or either Nutty, one of those films that Eddie Murphy did. It was a big person. Well, that's exactly what Anthony looks like here. He has on a purple shirt. And then if you look at him on the top, totally different person. Again, Anthony Elder, MM, www.toodamnfat.com.